So today for practice, you might want, as we usually have, a blanket for the knees maybe, and blocks for your hands if you enjoy that. Today's practice is to meet the state of stress. And I think that we can probably all, considering what's going on in the world today, all relate to the state of stress. The question was asked, what's the difference between wired and stressed? And for me, and maybe not for everyone, the feeling of wired is sort of, it's enjoyable for me. It's like, go, go, do. It's an engagement. It's a busyness. Whereas stress is more of a resistance. I think I've heard stress described, and this is a paraphrase, but stress described as it's the distance between what we think things should be and how they actually are. The amount of our stress is correlate to how we believe things should be and how they actually are. Eckhart Tolle said, stress is caused by being here but wanting to be there. And it's sort of the same thing I'm saying. And I feel like yoga offers us many different tools to be with stress. And a couple of the tools that I think are useful are two of the sutras. The second sutra, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, not as the traditional definition, although it could be, of yoga is the fluctuation of yoga is the stilling of the fluctuation of the mind, but rather Richard Miller's translation of it, which is, it is our way of embracing all of the fluctuations, to embrace them rather than still them, because it's very hard to still the mind, especially when we're in stress. So I take Richard's definition of embracing all the fluctuations, meaning to welcome what is, whatever is going on, to say, in a way, well, this is what's supposed to happen because it is happening. And Eckhart Tolle says, how do you know that this is the life experience you need? And the answer is because it's the life experience you're having, right? So I get really into this shouldn't be happening, all this shouldn't be happening. And the fact is, it's exactly what should be happening because it is happening. And it doesn't mean that we should be bliss bunnies. Some of you know Flossie. It's not about being bliss bunnies and being like, oh, it's all great though, because it's all good, because sometimes it's not good. We go through very, very hard times in our lives. It's more of allowing the difficult times, allow the pain, allow the sadness, allow the anger, ask for help, right? Life is a relationship. If we have a form of divinity that we like to ask for help from, even if it's our own higher self, our own prana, to really feel it and ask for help. And then there's that teaching, and then opposed against that is the idea of Patipraksha Bhavana. I'll type that in, which I will probably mess up. Patipraksha Bhavana. If anyone wants to check my spelling on that, that's great. And that means consider the opposite. So it is also in the, oh, I feel awful, and I'm going to consider how great my life is as well, right? So it's both things. It's not just one. It's not always be a bliss bunny, always just go for the light and the love, and, but that is true. And it's not always completely wallow in the difficulties, but that is true too, that we do need to feel the difficulties, that both things are part of life. So to me, that's the way of meeting stress, through our asana practice. And the other way we're going to meet stress today is we're going to do a full range of movements with the body. We're going to move the prana. We're going to balance it through our asana, through our breathing. We're going to find even inhales and exhales. And the key to this practice is to give the mind a bone. So I'm going to give you some more complicated sequences and ask you to follow them on your own. So I'm going to talk you through a couple times, but then I'm going to ask you to really engage in your practice. Stay present with your breath, stay present with all the different motions so that the mind almost doesn't have room to create worry. It has to stay in this present moment. I've heard also someone say, if you're stuck in the past, you'll be depressed, and if you're stuck in the future, you'll be anxious or stressed. So we're going to try and keep the mind right here, right now. I am right here with our practice. So we're going to start out, you can start out seated or lying down. Those of you who've studied with me before know I'm a big fan of not making people who are not comfortable seated to start seated, but if you are comfortable seated, please feel free to find your seated position. If you're more comfortable lying down, lie down. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. And just start to notice what is present for you. We've all been awake and studying and alert for many hours. We've been talking about some triggering subjects and some beautiful subjects. Welcome what is. In your body, in your breath, in your heart, in your mind. And as we did earlier this morning, take a few breaths for all the difficulties that show up, all the worry, all the anger, all the upset, the sadness, the heartbreak. Take a few breaths into that. Give yourself some love. Nelson DeMille says, somehow our devils are not quite what we expect when we meet them face to face. I love that because sometimes when I'm with my anger, it changes into sadness. Or sometimes my sadness changes into anger. So just be really, really present and ask for help. Ask for help. And then perhaps greeting the gifts in your life, the gratitude. Let your heart open to the gratitude, the joy, the sweetness, the sukha. Perhaps a little prayer of thank you for those. Thank you. William James says, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Can you choose the thoughts of gratitude and gifts? And then we'll do a chant that means just this. We're going to inhale at the heart and then chant ha, vu, ha. Type that into the chat. It sounds like this. Ha, vu, ha. As the arms reach out, and then take a breath for all the gifts in your life. And then we're going to chant Pahi Mam back to the heart. Pahi Mam. And that means, please help me. This is hard. Inhale for all the difficulty, the challenge, ask for help. And we'll do it again. Ha, vu, ha. Inhale. Pahi Mam. Hands at heart. Inhale. One more. Ha, vu, ha. Oh, how wonderful. Pahi Mam. And please help me. Making space in your practice for both things. Open your eyes. And if you're not already lying down, please go ahead and lie down. We're going to start with simple movements and we're going to build them into more complicated sequences, so stick with me. We'll start with Apanasana. On your first exhale, draw your knees into your chest. And on your inhale, straighten your arms, move your thighs away from your belly. Exhale, bring your thighs into your chest. Inhale, thighs away from the belly. And just one more time, that simple movement, 2 parts. And then changing. So we're going to exhale, knees to chest. And inhale and lift your legs straight up in the air, arms over your head. I think we did this yesterday. Exhale, hands to knees, knees to chest. Inhale, heels up, arms overhead. Again, just a 1-2 movement. Adding the arms and the extension of the legs this time. One more time. And this time as you exhale, bring your arms to your sides, palms on the floor, feet on the floor. We're going to build around those motions, and we're going to call this starting position. Knees bent, feet on the floor, palms on the floor. First round. Inhale, lift your hips, bring your arms over your head, come into an extended bridge. As you exhale, come down, bring your hands on your knees and your knees to your chest, Apanasana. Inhale, arms over the head, heels straight up. And exhale back to starting position. And that's our sequence. I'll talk you through one more. Inhale, extended bridge with arms overhead, hips up. Exhale, coming down, hands to knees, knees to chest. Inhale, arms overhead, heels up. That's 3. Exhale, arms down, feet down. That's 4. 4-part rhythm. Go ahead and do that 2 more times on your own. I'm not going to talk you through, but I will do it on screen if you need one more gaze. 1. 2. 3. 4. Do the whole sequence one more time. 1. 2. 3. 4. This time, go into whichever pose calls to you and count 5 breaths. So it might be extended bridge or traditional bridge. It might be knees to chest. It might be legs up in the air, but stay close to your breath. It's your breath count. 5 breaths. Try and even out the inhales and the exhales. If difficult emotions, thoughts arise, greet them. If joyful thoughts, emotions arise, greet them. On your fifth exhale, if you're not already down on the ground with your hips, come down. And if you're not already knees to chest, bring knees to chest. And roll around a little bit on your spine. Take care of the places that are a little cranky, a little unhappy, the pahi-mams, the ouchies. And also the places that feel good, the oh, thank you, that feels so nice. Roll over onto your right side now in fetal position. And for this one, I do like to have a blanket under my head. You can put a blanket under your head. You don't need to have one. So this is a little twist sequence. We're going to start out in fetal position with the left knee right over the right, left palm over the right. So it's like a long prayer pose here. To just check. Okay. On your next inhalation, we're going to pick up the left arm and bring it over to the left and let the head turn. So it's the arm and the head that turn. As you exhale, just the legs move over, arm and head stay still. And then inhale, just turn the head to the right. Exhale, the arm and head move into fetal position on the left. So that's half around. And we complete it going to the other side. Inhale, arm and head move to the right. Exhale, it's just the legs. Arm and head stay still. Inhale, it's just the head turning to the left. Exhale, arm and head move to close. So that's one round. I'll talk you through one more. Inhale, arm and head. Exhale, just the legs, moving to the other side. Inhale, just the head, turn to the right. Exhale, just the legs. Inhale, just the head. And exhale, arm and head. I think I might have messed that up, so I'm going to try it again. Do it again. Inhale, arm and head. Exhale, just the legs. I did mess that up. Inhale, just the head. Exhale, head and arm. Inhale, head and arm. Exhale, just the legs. Inhale, just the head. Exhale, head and arm. So move on your own. The pattern is head and arm, just the legs, just the head, head and arm. If you lose the pattern, don't worry about it. Let's see if you can get your mind. If you lose my pattern, find your own and really keep your mind in that pattern. Continue until keep going until your legs are to the left and your head and arm are looking to the right. Take 5 breaths. Stay close to your breath, even inhales and even exhales. That 5th exhale is going to shift the knees, and you'll start over in the pattern. And when you get to the place in the pattern where the knees are to the left and the head and arm are to the right, stay there. And take your 5 breaths. Stay close to your breath. Count them. On your next exhale, that 5th exhale, go ahead and come to a fetal position on your left. So we're just going to bring the head and arm back over to the left. Taking your time. And when you have finished that, please come to 4s. Our next sequence will be on 4s. You could put a blanket under your knees if you like. When you get to 4s, you might want to take some havuha, pahimam movements where it's like, oh, that feels good to shift my hips around. Ooh, and that's a little place that needs a little extra attention. Been sitting a lot. And then once you find your way to 4s, find tabletop. We've done some of this before, but we're going to add to it. So the first part of the sequence is a 1-2 movement. It's 2 parts. Inhale to sway your spine. Heart through the gate of the arms. Exhale to round and go to child's pose. Inhale to 4s. Exhale to child. Slow, mindful breath. Maybe there's even those pauses at the top and the bottom of the inhale we've been working with if you find those useful. And then one more 2-part rhythm. We're going to add to our rhythm, adding a level of complexity. The inhale movements stay the same. And then we're going to alternate on the exhale. So on exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to 4s. Exhale, child's pose. So the exhales will alternate, child's pose and the downward dog, and all the inhales are to 4. So it's a 4-part rhythm. 1, cow pose. 2, downward dog. 3, cow pose to 4s. And 4, child's pose. Do that round a couple more times. 4-part rhythm. All the inhales come to 4s. The exhales alternate between downward dog and child's pose. And the next time you're back in child's pose, please stay there. Feel your palms against the floor, perhaps your third eye against the floor. One of the things when we're working with stress is that remember that stress is often a worry about the future. So remembering that we are here now, feeling our palms, feeling our head, our shins against the earth. We're going to add to that sequence, and the addition starts here. Inhale onto your shins, lift your arms. 1. Exhale, come back to child's pose. 2. And we go back to our pattern. Inhale, 4s. 3. Exhale, downward dog. 4. Inhale, back to 4s. 5. Exhale to child's pose, our starting position. 6. I'll talk you through one more. Inhale, onto the knees. 1. Exhale, child's pose. 2. Inhale, 4s. We just find that previous rhythm. 3. Exhale, dog. 4. Inhale, 4s. 5. And then back to child's pose. 6. 6-part rhythm. Do that 2 more times on your own. If you miss the pattern, just re-find it. Kind of ride the wave of the breath here. Just like we ride the waves of life. And just like you would ride on a swing, there's this little moment of suspension when the swing gets all the way forward. And there's this little moment of suspension when the swing goes all the way backwards. And when you finish that round, take 5 breaths. You can do another round if you like, or you can stay in child's pose if you're feeling tired, or downward dog if you're feeling wired, or anything at all that calls to you, that's satisfying, and then just be there. Finding the beauty in where you are. Ha-vu-ha. Oh, how wonderful that my body does this. I am so grateful. When you finish your 5 breaths, make your way in your time to Tadasana. Standing, arms at sides. And taking a few rounds of our cueing to the present moment, right? Inhaling from the feet to the crown. I am. Back down to the feet, right here. Grounded. Present. Build another little sequence. This one's just a 1-2. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And exhale, let's take a lean over to the left with the right hand. Stay there and inhale from the right foot to the right fingers. And then exhale and switch sides. So it's just a 1-2. It's a move on the exhale and a chance to just be on the inhale, really feeling into this yourself. And you might even add the chant here, whatever feels good to you. I'm going to add the ha-vu-ha, pahi mam. Ha-vu-ha. Inhale for all I'm grateful for. Pahi Mam. And an inhale for, oh, all the help I need. Boy, do I need help. Hamu Ha. I'm so grateful, so beautiful. Pahi Mam. And I could use some help. Next side you're on, stay there, breathe, and play around with your own sensation. So for me, it sometimes feels really good to round here because I get this tight part that I tend to feel on my QL muscle, my lower back, my mid back. But you can roll out, you can roll in, you can play around, root through your foot that you're leaning away from, relax the shoulder that you're leaning towards. Switch sides when you feel ready and explore, place an inquiry into that pose, into your present moment. What feels good? Is it rolling in? Is it rolling out? Is it continual movement and an inquiry? Embrace what is. And on your next exhale, back to Tadasana, please. Relax both shoulders, lengthen both side bodies, lift the crown of your head, breathe to the crown of your head. I am. Exhale to the soles of your feet, right here. Grounded. Let's take a wide-legged stance. Toes can be parallel, turned out, turned in, whatever feels good on your hips. Take a moment to inquire into that for you. We're going to do a twist with a little bit of a sequence to it. And we are going to start with our hands at the lower back. So they're not interlaced, they're just resting on the sacrum here. And I like to use my hands in this position to remind me to lengthen my lower back. So I tend to stand with too much curve here. This helps me to remember to lengthen that space. It also helps me to remember to open the front of my chest. So spaciousness all around. I'm not going to mirror you here. Inhale, my right arm goes up and into a side lean. Exhale, like you're following the face of a clock with your right hand. Come all the way down to 6 o'clock. Bow into a forward bend. Inhale, come up, half lift to the right fingertips. Neck is long, chin is in. Exhale, lift the left arm, look up. Arm and head turn. Inhale, unwind everything to star pose. And exhale, arms rest at your lower back, lengthen your lower back, open your chest. That's one half around. Inhale, left arm, side lean, leaping over to the right. Exhale, follow that clock face down to 6 o'clock, bow. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, arm and head turn into the twist. Inhale, spiral out, star pose. Exhale, both hands come to behind your back. That is one full round. I'll talk you through one more. Inhale, sweep the right arm, 1. Exhale, bring the hand down to the floor in a forward bend, 2. Inhale, up to fingertips, lengthen your spine, 3. Exhale, arm and head, move into the twist, 4. Inhale, come all the way up, star pose, 5. Exhale, starting position, 6. 6 moves. Inhale, left arm into the side lean, 1. Exhale, circle down, 2. Inhale, half lift, preparing for the twist, 3. Exhale, twist. 4. Inhale, come out, star pose. Oh, how wonderful. And exhale, hands to the lower back. And I could use some help. Go ahead, do that whole sequence, both sides, on your own twice through. 6 moves per side. If you get lost, you can always look up. I'm going to not talk you through it, but I'm going to do it. Let the breath be like a swing. When you get to that second full round, we're going to take some holds. So when you get into the twist with the right hand down and the left arm up, hold there, take 5 breaths. Count your breaths. When you get to that 6th inhale, that brings you up. But you stay with your breath. You stay with your breath. And then do your other side. And when you get to the twist, stay and count 5 of your own breaths. Stay intimate with your breath. The inhales, the exhales, the moments of full and empty. Sense that your feet are on the floor, your arms are outstretched, the bodily sensations of being here now. And on the 6th inhale, it brings you up. And come down into a wide-legged forward fold as your counter pose here, unless there's a different counter pose you want to do. And then please stay with your bodily sensations, your inner guide. And when you're ready, inhale, come on up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Any of the mudras that we practiced, could be Anjali, it could be lotus, it could be dove, something that connects you to your heart space. Bring your feet back into Tadasana. Inhale to the crown of your head, I am. Exhale to the sense of your hands at your heart, right here in my own beautiful, sweet, loving, needy, everything heart, fullness of our hearts. Place your hands and open your eyes. And let's step wide again. We're going to do a warrior 2 base practice. And turn your right toes towards the short edge of your mat and your left heel towards the other short edge of your mat. Just for a moment, close your eyes, feel into your feet, please. The big toe ball joint, the little toe ball joint, the center of the heel in both feet, the anatomical Tadasana. Bring the arms up into Warrior Two. Feel the sensation of the arms being lifted by the arms rather than the neck. Palms, feet, arms, shoulder, breath. Sense of the lower back space lengthened, the chest broadened. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, sweep your arm, turn your head to look back, to look at your left hand. Exhale, come into a right angle, looking at your right foot. So you're looking down. Inhale, just turn your head to look up. And exhale back to Warrior Two, looking at your right arm. So it's the head turn here that's the little tricky piece. Inhale, Exalted Warrior, look to your left hand. Exhale, right angle, looking to your right foot. Inhale, look up to your left hand. Exhale, Warrior Two, looking to your right hand. I'll talk you through one more. Inhale, Exalted Warrior, straight leg or bent knees, looking at your left hand. So the head turns at every move. That's one movement. Two, right angle, looking at your right foot. Inhale for three, look up. Exhale for four, Warrior Two, looking at your right hand. So go ahead and do that 3 more times. It's only 4 parts, but the head turns at every turn of breath. 1, 2, looking down. 3, looking up. 4, looking forward. One more time. And then this time when you move through, hold any pose that satisfies you, your breath, your bodily sensations, your energetic expression. Stay there, count 5 breaths. When you finish your 5 breaths, come out to a wide-legged stance with hands in your chosen mudra at your heart. Be present to whatever arises for you, the beauty, the difficulty, embrace it all. Let's do the other side. So let's turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat and the right heel towards the short edge of the mat. Come into Warrior Two. Take a moment in Warrior Two so you're really feeling into your feet, your legs, the length of your lower back, the lift of your heart, the sense that the arms hold themselves up, the neck doesn't participate in holding the arms up, the feeling in your palms and your face. Look at your left hand. And when you're ready, go ahead and do the sequence. It's a 4-part move. I'll talk you through one. Inhale, Exalted, straight or bent leg. The head looks back to your right hand. Exhale, right angle as you look down. Inhale, just turn the head to look up. And exhale, back to Warrior Two, looking forward. 3 more times on your own. Head turns at every turn of breath. It's a 4-part sequence. Let the breath be like a swing. There's a tiny bit of suspension before you change the motion. You finish your last round. Hold any pose, even if it's a different pose on this side that satisfies you, connecting to your feet, your hands, your breath, your face, your emotional state. Welcoming. And this time, as you finish your 5th breath, bring your hands down, please, to frame your front foot and drop onto your left knee. We're just going to come right into a little lizard stretch here as a counter posture. So hands to the inside of the front foot. Back thigh is dropping, so I think it's the left foot in front. We're stretching the right thigh. Notice how the breath can engage different parts of the pose, maybe breathing to the low breathing space here, which helps to stretch the muscles of the hip flexors. Ah. You can stay there a little longer if you like. Otherwise, heel toe your left foot back in line. You might want blocks for this next one. I think, yeah. Lift up off your back knee. So in this case, it's my right. As I inhale, I'm going to reach my left arm forward and my left hip back, reaching in opposite directions. And then exhale, following the face of the clock, lift your left hand up to 12 o'clock. You can look up, neutral, or down. You choose your neck position and breathe here in this lunge twist. Perhaps finding a hold at the end of the exhale that's a little more extensive. Balancing for the nervous system as we meet the stress state. When you're ready, exhale, bring that left hand back down. Straighten your front leg. So lots of ways to do this stretch. I'm really just looking for a hamstring stretch here. So if you have a hamstring stretch you prefer, maybe it's knee down or maybe it's a shorter stance, you find the one that works for you. Notice if you are unconsciously holding tension in your neck. Can you choose the position of your neck rather than just having it be habitual? And then practicing a little bit of svadhyaya. Right? What's going to bring you into balance today? Is it a little more stretch? Do you need a little more gentleness, a little more ease in your life at this moment? Or do you need a little more tapas, right? A little more heat? If you do, bend your left knee, step into your left foot, lift your right leg skyward. Let's come into a standing split. We reach down, we reach up. You could challenge this by bringing one or both hands to the standing foot, a standing 1 point. Or you could open the right hip, the right arm, and come in to a half moon. We know that when we fall down, it's just an opportunity to come back up. You decide for you when the pose has reached its completion. right? When eustress, adaptive stress, good stress, then meets distress, then we come out. That's how we start to learn that, right? In our bodies. We do yoga, which is sort of the perfect amount of eustress on our systems. Just come into a forward bend for a moment. Oh, let yourself breathe, let yourself be surrendered. And then step your left foot back, or whichever foot was forward before. And we're going to come down onto that knee, come into a lizard stretch to start. Both hands to the big toe side of the front foot. Maybe move your breath into your low breathing space. And if you want to try out the mudras to see if that works, remember it's thumb and pointer finger, the other 3 fingers extended out on a surface. Does that help you bring your breath into your lower breathing space, which is the breathing space we want to access when we want to calm the nervous system? You could stay there. You could hang out a little bit if you want. Otherwise, if you've moved your right knee out of alignment with your right hip, bring it back together, perhaps placing blocks underneath your hands. Come up off that back knee into a lunge. Inhale and bring your right arm forward and your right sits bone back. So this whole piece here gets long. As you exhale, follow the clock face around with your right hand to 12 o'clock and twist. You can look up, neutral down. See how it feels to be in empty a little bit at the end of your exhale. And then exhale. Follow the clock face all the way around. Bring your hands down. Let's find that hamstring stretch, straightening the front leg. Remember, you can be on the back knee. You can have a shorter stance. Inquire into yourself. Where do you best get that sensation? Choose where your head is. You can have it lifted, you can have it dropped, but it's a choice. It's not habitual, even though it is most of the time. Can we get out of that? And then you choose for you. How is that hamstring stretch? Does it feel like, oh, ha, boo, ha, man, that is wonderful. Do you want to stay there? Do you want to challenge your balance, a little more tapas, a little more heat? If so, stand into the right foot, lift the left, standing split. You can challenge with standing one point with both hands to the standing leg. I always find that one so challenging. Or open up into a half moon. Head in any position. Right? Finding that perfect stress, as Durga talked about today, the adaptive stress on the system, which helps us. It builds our bones and our muscles. It builds our capabilities to deal with the changing states of our lives. When the pose starts to become de-stress versus eustress, listen to your body and come out back to a forward fold. And then stay in the forward fold or take your feet wider, come down to a squat if that feels good to you. And repeat your affirmation wherever you are. I am right here. When you're ready, you can release. We're going to come to, check my sequence. We're going to come to sit. If you like to have something underneath your tushy, please find it. We're going to sit in Sukhasana. So you'll know from my sequencing class that I do think the seated posers should generally go at the end of the class. So this is where I've placed this one. Bring your hands out to your sides. Fingers just kind of gracing the floor, arms long to fingertips. Maybe there's like little tents under your hands. Bring the crown of your head up, lengthen the lower back, expand through the chest, sitting up nice and tall. Start to walk yourself over towards your right and place the right palm on the floor. Let your head drop towards your right hand and lengthen the space between the left earlobe along the left arm. Maybe reach a little bit through your left fingers. Relax through your left jaw, your left inner ear as you breathe deeply into your left side of your neck. Breath in the high breathing space now, highest breathing space, all the way up by your collarbone. We did a lot of head turning today, so it's just a little release for the neck. And then start to bring yourself back. Bring the torso up first, then the head balances all right on the center of the shoulders. And just sit for a moment and notice how the body deals with stress, or that healthy stress, the adaptive stress, by bringing you back to homeostasis. Just watch what happens in your neck. As the neck feels right back on your shoulders, walk your hands out again, little tense in the fingers so the arm line feels long. Walk your hand over to the left, palm the floor with the left, let the head drop to the left, and then lengthen the space between the earlobe on the right to the fingers on the right. Make any adaptive motions with the neck to just get your spot, and then bring your breath into the highest breathing space there on your right side, all the way up to the collarbone. Soften the hinges of the jaw. The canal, the inner ear. Every breath sort of painting the inner neck a little softer color, a lighter shade. And then bring your torso up first, you letting your hands kind of spider finger you in. Let the neck adjust. At first it feels kind of funny, and then just be with your neck. Notice what your neck does all on its own. I read this quote yesterday, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it's I think it's Osho. Let everything be a big let go. Millions of flowers open every day without anybody forcing the buds. So, bring your legs out in front, coming to the front edge of your mat, hands on your knees. Let's just inhale and gently bring the heart through the gate of the arms. And then exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, stretch the back of your neck here. Inhale back up to sits bones. Exhale, round back, belly to spine, chin to chest, stretch the back of your neck. And just a few more times on your own. And you take as long as you want. If you want to stay a little bit in the rounded position or the upright position, or even boat pose, whatever it is. But eventually we're going to make our way onto our backs, knees to chest, hands to knees, shoulder blades heavy to the floor. And let's do a little hip opener, because I do think that we could always all use a hip opener. So any hip opener you like here, just like 5 breaths per side, just a short one. Start to find those little pauses at the very top of the inhale, the very bottom of the exhale, like you're on a swing, and the bottom, and once you swing back, you just suspend for just a second. And then as the inhale and you swing forward, you suspend for just a second. And you decide for you when you want to switch sides, when your 5 breaths is up. If you want more than 5 breaths, by all means, take them. Let the breath swing from point to point, present to the inhale and the pause, present to the exhale and the pause. And then when you're done with that, perhaps a happy baby or whatever else calls to you. You can do a shoulder stand, whatever it is. So present to what it is your body needs and all of its oys and joys, all of its ha-bu-ha and pahi-mam. This feels great, and ooh, this needs some help. And then find your way into Shavasana. I'm going to play a little music today to have the mind, give the mind something to hold to. Bring your attention back to the sweet space of your own heart. Inhale through your heart and exhale through your heart. And as you inhale into your heart, breathe in for something that you're grateful for. It's so beautiful. You're so blessed. And breathe out. And then breathe into something in your heart that's difficulty. It's challenging and you need help. Oh, please help me. And breathe out. Back and forth a few times. This sense of Pati-praksha bhavana, of being flexible in our thoughts and our hearts. Breath for everything that's wonderful. A blessing, a gift. And a breath out for everything that's hard and challenging and that you need help with, a prayer for help. And then the next time you breathe in for your blessings, as you breathe out to all the beauty in the world, all of it. Meet it with your heart. And as you breathe in for all of your challenges, your difficulties, and you ask for help, can you send a little bit of help out into the world for all its difficulties, all its challenges? Inhale to your own beautiful heart, beauty in your life, and exhale out to the beauty in the world, all of it. Inhale for all your difficulties, asking for help. And exhale out into the world, sending help to all the suffering. A few rounds of that meditation. And perhaps lying down. If your body feels tired, please honor that with time and space and rest. If you'd like to come sit up for the last few moments of class without leaving the space of your heart, just move your body around so that you end up on your side, and then slowly and mindfully find your way to sit. And wherever you have landed, wherever you are, if you've moved your attention from your heart, bring it back. And if it's comfortable from where you are, place one hand over the other over your heart, holding all of it. Abuha Pahimam. Oh, how wonderful. And oh, I need some help. Rumi says, let everything happen to you, the beauty and the terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Namaste.